Hey there, YouTube. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Listen, it's summertime. I'm sure there's going to be some noise out here because you know how men love power tools and machines and leaf blowers and all that kind of good stuff in the morning. But, so pretty out here today, I just felt like I needed to shoot a video from the back deck. And today we're going to talk about reasons you aren't losing weight on a raw vegan diet. I'm going to tell you before I get into this, I might trigger you a little bit because I used to say this in Costa Rica and I believe it to this day. People make more and more excuses up in their head about why they can't lose weight. And you know, we're kind of in a time where it's not politically correct to really correct people about weight, but it is what it is. If you don't want to face reality, you don't face reality. I'm not going to drag you kicking and screaming, but I used to say that if, like when I was living in Costa Rica, I had this property. I said, if I could take a person or two people prisoner on this property, I don't care if they were eating a standard American diet, I could probably make them go raw. I could probably help them lose weight because I would be more aware of all the things they're putting in their mouth. So I'm always going to be a skeptic. I mean, you know, unicorns might exist, but I'm not going to believe in a unicorn until I see one. I.e., every 100 people tell me that they can't lose weight. Can't lose weight. Physically, medically can't lose weight. Out of 100, maybe, and I'm being generous here, 10 are actually have that issue. So what are some of the reasons why people aren't losing weight on this diet or any other diet? And the number one to me is something you might not have guessed is lack of patience. Lack of patience. Listen, I get it. I'm not overweight. So I can't get inside the mind, the psychology of a person that's like very much overweight. I mean, I've been a little bit overweight in my life, but okay, I kind of understand that psychology if you just want that weight off any means possible. You know, whatever. Let me just get this weight off. Let me just get this weight off. And what tends to happen is your body's not going to miraculously just change overnight when you change the way you eat. So people don't give it enough time. They go. I've seen people go 2 weeks on an eating plan, and then they're like, "Yeah, this just doesn't work for me. I haven't lost any weight." And you know, that's a shame because not everybody is just going to immediately start shedding weight right off the bat. And when you're jumping from one thing to another, you may have already found, I don't think there's any one particular method that works on a raw vegan diet, but I think what you might have been is when you're one of those impatient people that jump around like that, you might have had the right way to eat. You just needed to tweak it a little bit, but you didn't see it like that. You were like, well, this isn't working for me, so now I got to do something completely different than what I'm doing. And one of those things, another big obstacle I've seen for 10 years, ever since I started doing this lifestyle, seeing what other people were doing, making my own videos, and people hear so much about this raw is law, you know, they get this kind of culty vibe of the raw stuff, that they put the raw aspect above everything, the raw above their health, the raw above everything, and they just kind of have this brainwashed idea that everything raw is better than anything that's cooked, or everything raw is good no matter how you do it. And I think what happens with that a lot of times, and we're going to talk, that just takes us into the right next thing, is I think the main thing that happens when people put the raw is law status up there above everything else, the culprit tends to be fat. They tend to eat more fat to make it work for them because nuts are fat. Avocado, well, not all nuts. I mean, nuts are not, I was about to say nuts are raw, but not all. Most of the nuts we're getting are not actually raw. Avocados are raw, coconuts are raw, and a lot of these different things are raw, or not raw or raw, but they're fat. They're fat, and whether they're raw or not, it's still fat, and you have to be cognizant of how much of it you're eating. I know a personal example of that. Somebody I was around for a while, and they were trying to do fully raw, but the amount of fat they were eating in a day, like you'll see me do things sometime, like I'll put a little bit of fresh, like made, you know, out of the machine peanut butter or almond butter in with my ice cream, and people, oh, but you're putting fat in there. Yeah, but I'm kind of spacing things out through the day. If I do something like that, I'm not eating fat in my salad dressing. So you just really have to work on that fat. And one of the biggest culprits when it comes to fat, because, you know, an avocado is what it is, But the nuts and the seeds, you really, really, really have to be careful with those nuts and seeds. And even though I'm kind of willy-nilly and don't measure things, and I'm not like, oh, I eat this amount, this particular amount, and I'm not into specific amounts. When I'm eating nuts, when I'm using nuts in a salad dressing or in a recipe or whatever, I'm very cognizant of how much there is in there. And I still get surprised from time to time. I looked up something last week. What was it? I was looking up the nutrition value of half of a cup of cashews for some reason or another. I don't know why. I don't have any recipes that I make that call for half a cup of cashews. I might have been checking somebody else's math and how much they were eating, but it was a half of a cup of cashews, and I could be thinking about something completely different I looked at on the internet, but I want to say that half cup of cashews had like 650 calories in it. And I looked at the half cup of cashews that I had measured out in a little measuring glass, and I'm like, that is not a lot of nuts. It would be very easy just to sit down and kind of watch a little TV, pop a few of those in your mouth, and before you know it, you've eaten half a cup. And I started extrapolating from there and thinking like, okay, if you're sitting on the couch watching a little Netflix or doing whatever, having a snack random, you could easily eat a cup of cashews, and you're like 1,300 calories in, and I don't know how many. I didn't check I don't remember the fat grams. I checked that. So, don't focus on the raw. Focus on making your body healthier. I was talking to somebody this week. They're not even vegan, and that's why I kind of have my methods why I do what I do. One person that I reached out to has fibromyalgia really bad. The other person that I reached out to, what was their issue? Oh, really needed to lose weight. Probably had like 100 pounds to lose weight. Had a few health issues, and I recommended what I talk about all the time here. I recommended How Not to Die to one of them, and I recommended fibered by fuel. I always forget the exact title of that. Fiber fueled. To the other. And what I told them, without trying to, I have my little sneaky messages for people that aren't plant-based. I just talked to them about trying to heal the body. It's like, you're trying to heal a system. You're not just taking care of that symptom, that being overweight, that having acne, that having certain things. That's a symptom. We need to fix that source. We need to get our body stronger. And that's why I'm always going back to fiber fueled. When I was doing a little digging deeper about the fibromyalgia, so much of it goes back to our gut. If we will heal our gut and get that microbiome in our gut going in the right direction, and it will build over time, most of the problems we have will kind of fade away. So it's like, stop thinking so much about your particular issue that you came into this for. Okay, I need to lose weight. I have diabetes. I have this. I have bad skin. And just thinking, well, some of them, like when you're diabetic and some certain health issues, you have to do, you have to make adjustments and do certain things. But for the rest, just focus on making this the machine, a little bit healthier. And you just can't jump. You just can't jump back and forth. You need to take a course of action. If the one thing I would like for you to always take away from this channel is like, I'm no expert on this stuff or whatever, but if you go back, and hey, you might go back and see something I said 6 years ago that I don't agree with now. Now, I probably am not like 180 degrees on that, but my journey has been this. Instead of like think about me taking a very wide path and the path always getting more narrow, whereas a lot of people are going down a path for 100 steps, and this isn't working, and they see something distracting and they take a little path over to the left, or they took a little path over to the right. Whereas I'm more about that approach, like just keep honing, keep just polishing, keep just getting it smaller and smaller. Get your knowledge honed down to a razor sharp point. But you don't have to make these big changes. Like if you're not losing weight, don't throw the whole thing out that you're doing. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just tweak it, make some adjustments. What are some of the things I'm doing? And that's why I'm always preaching that if you struggle with these things, you need to have a food journal, because that, our memories get fuzzy when you're doing, especially for losing weight. A food journal can be key. whether you're just doing it yourself or whether you're working with somebody. Because if you're getting on the scale once a week, you're keeping a food journal, then you can just go in and you can look. It's right there, and you got to be detailed. You got to write down the amounts you had of everything, and you have to be honest with yourself. And then, as you're weighing yourself, okay, maybe a week goes by, you don't lose weight. 2 weeks go by, you don't lose weight. Then it's like doing a math problem. You get into your journal, you get out your pen or pencil, and you start going, okay, well, maybe I need to cut this out. And it's not going to be like drastic. It's not going to be like, okay, I need to go up 1,000 calories, down 1,000 calories. It might be something like, okay, maybe I can make that smoothie with 2 bananas less or whatever. And for God's sake, when it's not working for you, don't revert back to a fast, a feast. Oh, I'm going to go cleanse. I haven't been losing weight. I ate the wrong thing. So now let me go do my 37th juice feast. So you can lose weight. You really can. I want to encourage people just not to give up, to dig a little bit. Don't have a guru. Stop listening to YouTube more than you actually listen to real sources, real resources, people that have written books and have like some really good hard-hitting podcasts. So anyhow, just my 2 cents worth. I'm shooting this here. We're halfway through the week, on the downslide to the weekend, and I hope you have a beautiful day rest of the week. Peace.